This video is the exit slip from Wednesday, September 19th. You had two questions that focused on adding and subtracting the functions. So number one, I've got pulled up here. They give us three different functions, but they're only telling us to subtract h of x minus f of x. So looking through, I've got h of x and I've got f of x. So I'm going to set it up based upon those. H of x is negative 2 times 4x minus 5 minus f of x, which is 6x squared plus 3x minus 4. The second one, there's nothing else I could do, but the first function I could go ahead and distribute and clean that up first. And we have negative 8x plus 10 minus 6x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now that they're both cleaned up within each function itself, I can now proceed to subtract. I know that it's because I'm subtracting instead of adding. I have to remember that this minus goes to all three terms in the second function. So we're really looking at negative 8x plus 10 minus 6x squared minus 3x plus 4. And then when we combine like terms, I only have one term that has an x squared, so it's going to stay negative 6x squared. Then we have negative 8x minus 3x, so negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11x. And then 10 plus 4 should give us a plus 14 at the end. The next question is a little bit more complicated. It's asking us to do g of x minus h of x. And so we've got g of x and h of x. So g of x is saying that I'm going to take 3x squared minus 7 and square it. That doesn't mean I'm going to square 3x squared and just square 7. I'm going to actually multiply 3x squared minus 7 by itself, because that's what that means. 3x squared minus 7 times 3x squared minus 7. And that's going to be, we're going to subtract h of x, which is negative 2 times 4x minus 5. And then so the first function, I have to remember the distributive property. And when we did the distributive property, we remembered this goes to both terms, and then we have to come back, and this negative 7 has to go to both terms. So when we do that, that is going to leave us with, so when we do distribute, we got 3x squared times 3x squared, which is actually going to give us a 9x to the fourth, because we add the exponents when we multiply. Then we will do 3x squared times negative 7, which will give me a negative 21x squared. Then when I come back and distribute the negative 7 here, we will have another negative 21x squared as a result of this negative 7 times this 3x squared. And then at the end, we'll have negative 7 times negative 7, which will give us a positive 49. So if we combine like terms, the two middle terms match. I have 21x squared, a negative 21x squared minus 21x squared, which gives us negative 42x squared. Bring down the 49 and the 9x to the fourth. And the other function, we needed to distribute the negative 2, so that is going to give us negative 8x plus 10. But when we distribute this minus sign, it ends up making it a plus 8x minus 10. So at this point, there are only a couple terms that are even alike that we could combine. And actually, there's only one. There's the 49 and the negative 10. So that comes out to give us 9x to the fourth minus 42x squared plus 8x. And 49 minus 10 will leave us with a positive 39.